Logan Pierce was not a soldier. He was a mechanic and engineer. He worked far from Earth, on a strange planet called Orula Prime. The world was full of thick green forests and huge trees that touched the sky. Strange birds with bright feathers flew everywhere. The air was heavy with the smell of wet leaves and flowers that Logan had never seen before. Orula Prime was not an easy place to live. The ground shook sometimes with small earthquakes. The sky was often dark with clouds, but the planet was important for many reasons. It had old technology buried deep inside, and many species wanted to study it. Logan's job was to help repair and protect the planet's shield, a giant energy barrier that kept the planet safe from deadly space storms. One hot afternoon, Logan was on a supply run. His small ship flew low over the dense jungle. He was carrying parts needed to fix the shield's core. The jungle below looked calm, but Logan felt uneasy. Something was wrong. Suddenly, smoke rose from the trees. It was black and thick, curling into the sky. Logan quickly turned his ship toward the smoke. As he got closer, he saw a terrible sight. Small air car lay smashed against the rocks. It was broken in half and flames burned bright around the wreckage. The air smelled of fuel and burning metal. Logan's heart raced. He scanned the area with his sensors. There was one life sign. Weak, but still alive. Logan landed his ship nearby. He jumped out with his emergency kit. The heat from the fire was strong, but he moved fast. Inside the wreck, he saw a small figure, a child. The child was covered in cuts and bruises. She was barely breathing. Without thinking, Logan pulled the child out of the wreck. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes were closed. She was not human. Logan had heard stories of the Venari, the people who lived on Orula Prime. They looked very different from humans. Their skin was blue, their eyes slanted and golden, and their hair long and shiny. This child must be one of them. The fire was spreading fast now. Logan ran to his ship with the child in his arms. He called for help over his radio. "Mayday! Mayday! This is Logan Pierce. I found a Venari child. She's badly hurt. Need emergency med team at my location." Within minutes, a group of Venari guards arrived. They were tall and strong, wearing shiny armor made from metal and wood. The leader stepped forward, a tall woman with silver hair tied in braids. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice calm but serious. "I'm Logan Pierce, an engineer working here," he said. "I found her in a crashed air car. She was trapped inside. I saved her." The woman's eyes widened. "You saved Princess Kalira?" she said, disbelief in her voice. Logan frowned. "Princess? She's a child. What's going on?" "The you." Guards quickly took the child from Logan and rushed her to a nearby medical tent. Logan followed, feeling more confused by the second. Inside the tent, doctors worked quickly on Kalira. They used strange machines that glowed softly and touched her skin without hurting. Slowly, the princess began to breathe more easily. Hush fell over the crowd outside. Whispers flew through the air. Logan heard the name Kalira spoken with respect and fear. After what felt like hours, a message came from the royal palace. Logan was ordered to come immediately. He arrived at a grand building made of shining stone and glowing crystals. It was very different from any place he had seen. The air smelled of flowers and incense. Inside the throne room, many Venari nobles sat on carved seats. At the center sat the High Matron Velsa Kareth, mother of Kalira. She was tall and proud, with deep blue skin and eyes that looked like stars. She looked at Logan with a mixture of gratitude and seriousness. "You saved my daughter's life," Velsa said slowly. "For that, you owe us a bond that cannot be broken." Logan blinked. "I don't understand. I only saved a child." Velsa's voice grew firm. "By our ancient tradition, saving a life of our blood ties you to us forever. You are now life-bound to our family." Logan shook his head. That can't be. I'm not part of your family. I'm just a human engineer. Velsa's eyes did not soften. You chose to save her, knowing the danger. That choice binds you. This is our law. You must honor it. Logan felt a heavy weight in his chest. He had never heard of this life bond before. It sounded serious. He wondered what it would mean for him. One of the nobles, a thin man with sharp eyes, stood up. This is madness. A human cannot be bound to the royal family. It is dishonor. Velsa's gaze turned cold. Do not question our customs. This bond is sacred. It will protect Kalira and all of us. Logan looked at the princess's small hand, now resting on a soft pillow in the palace. She looked peaceful but fragile. He thought of his own family back on Earth, far away. He was only a simple mechanic. How could he be tied to an alien royal? Family now? Before he could answer, Kalira's eyes opened. She looked at Logan and smiled weakly. Guardian, she whispered. Logan's heart skipped a beat. The child called him Guardian. He didn't know what that meant, but it felt important. Velsa nodded. Yes, Guardian. You will protect her as one of your own. Logan looked around the room. Some nobles stared with suspicion. Others seemed curious. He took a deep breath. His life was about to change forever. Outside the palace, the jungle seemed quiet again. But Logan knew the peace would not last long. In this strange world, with strange laws, Logan was now bound by a bond he could not break, and his adventure had just begun. After the royal court declared Logan life-bound to the royal family, his world changed. He was no longer just a human engineer fixing machines on Orula Prime. He was now part of something far bigger, something he did not understand yet. Logan sat in a quiet room inside the palace. The walls were covered with glowing symbols that seemed to move like living light. Across from him sat High Matron Velsa Kareth. She looked serious, but calm. Logan, she said, you are now bound to us by the oldest tradition of the Venari. This is not just a word or a ceremony. It is a bond of life, trust, and honor. Logan nodded slowly. I want to understand, Matron Velsa, but I am a human. Your customs are very different from mine. Velsa smiled faintly. That is true, but our bond is stronger than difference. You saved my daughter's life. That act holds great power. It ties you to her and to our house forever. Logan looked out the window. The jungle stretched far into the distance. He thought about his family on Earth, his simple life before coming here. Now, he was trapped between two worlds. A soft voice interrupted his thoughts. Guardian? Logan turned to see Kalira standing at the door. The princess looked stronger than before, but still small and fragile. Her golden eyes looked at him, with trust and hope. Hello, Kalira, Logan said, standing up. How do you feel? She smiled shyly. Better, thanks to you. Logan smiled back. I'm glad, but I don't know what this bond means for me yet. Kalira tilted her head. It means you are my protector, my family. We are connected now. Logan nodded, trying to feel the meaning in her words. Over the next few days, Logan learned what it meant to be life-bound. The palace staff explained the rules and customs. He had to attend special lessons on Venari history, language, and etiquette. It was difficult. The Venari culture was old and full of strange ideas, but Logan wanted to respect it. After all, his bond to Kalira and her family depended on it. One afternoon, while practicing the Venari greeting ritual, Logan felt eyes watching him. He turned to see a group of nobles standing by the balcony. They whispered among themselves and stared coldly at him. One noble, a tall man named Sirac, stepped forward. His face was hard and sharp. A human engineer bound to our royal blood. This is madness, Sirac said loudly. Logan Pierce has no right to claim such honor. Velsa stood behind Logan, her voice steady. "Sirac, this bond is sacred. Logan saved Kalira's life. That cannot be undone." Sirac laughed bitterly. "It is not tradition. It is a dangerous change. The royal family should remain pure, without outsiders." Logan felt his chest tighten. He had heard this kind of talk before, back on Earth. Fear of change, fear of difference. But here, it was real and dangerous. Velsa's eyes narrowed. "If you oppose this bond, you oppose the survival of our people." The nobles grumbled, but stepped back. Logan knew this was only the beginning of their resistance. That night, Logan sat alone on the palace balcony. The stars shone bright above. The jungle. The sounds of strange animals filled the air. Kalira joined him quietly. She held a small book made of leaves and glowing ink. "Do you want to see something?" she asked. Logan nodded. Kalira opened the book and touched a symbol. Suddenly, images and sounds appeared in the air, a story of the Venari ancestors, their struggles and their hopes. Logan was amazed. The Venari had an ancient way to record history using light and memory. "Your people are very wise," Logan said softly. Kalira smiled. "We try to be. But we have many enemies too." Logan looked at her, serious. "I will protect you, Kalira, no matter what." She looked at him with trust. "I know, Guardian." Days passed, and Logan became closer to the royal family. He saw Velsa's strength and kindness. He saw Kalira's curious mind and growing powers. But shadows loomed in the palace. One evening, Logan overheard a conversation between two nobles. "In the hall, we cannot allow Velsa to keep power," one whispered. "If the human is here, it may be harder, but we must try." Logan's heart sank. There were plans against the matron and the princess. Plans he did not yet understand. He tried to warn Velsa, but the matron was careful. "We must be patient," she said. "They watch us closely." Logan felt a deep unease. His bond was a promise, but it also made him a target. Kalira began to change. She told Logan about strange feelings inside her head, thoughts not her own, whispers from the past. "You think I am strange?" she asked one day. "No," Logan said quickly. "You are special." Kalira smiled but looked worried. "I don't understand, but I want to learn." Logan decided to teach her about humans and their technology. They spent hours talking about Earth, machines, and how people lived. Kalira loved the stories and dreamed of one day bringing peace between their peoples. Logan was inspired by her hope. One night during a quiet walk in the palace gardens, Velsa spoke to Logan again. "You are more than a protector now," she said. "You are part of our future. The bond is not a chain, but a bridge." Logan looked at the stars, feeling a new sense of purpose. But the danger was growing. The nobles who opposed them moved in silence, waiting for a moment to strike. Logan knew that to protect Kalira, he must become more than an engineer. He must learn to fight, to plan, and to trust in the strange bond that tied him to the Venari. As the night deepened, Logan made a promise to himself. No matter what came, he would stand by Kalira and Velsa. He would fight for this new family that fate had given him, because some bonds, he now knew, could never be broken. The palace on Orula Prime was beautiful. But beauty did not mean safety. Beneath the bright crystals and calm gardens, danger was growing. Logan Pierce, the human now bound to the Venari royal family, could feel it in the air. It started with silence. Some of the palace guards no longer greeted him with nods. Some servants began whispering and turning away when he walked by. Logan had learned enough about Venari culture to know something was wrong. One night, Logan sat alone in the palace library, studying ancient Venari texts about the life bond. The symbols glowed softly on the page. Suddenly the lights dimmed. The warm feeling in the room changed to cold. He heard a voice. "You do not belong here, human." Logan turned. A noble stood behind him. It was Lord Sirac, the same man who spoke against him in court. Sirac's long robe shimmered with power. His eyes were full of anger. "I'm not looking for a fight," Logan said calmly. Sirac stepped closer. "You are a threat to our traditions. You make the matron weak. You confuse the child with human ideas." Logan stood. "I didn't ask for this bond, but I will not walk away from it." Sirac leaned in. "Then you will fall with the rest of her bloodline." Logan's fists clenched. Before he could speak, Sirac disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind only a warning. Logan reported the conversation to High Matron Velsa Kareth. She listened carefully. "Sirac has long desired the throne," she said. "But he fears the people. If he moves too soon, they will rise against him. He said something about Kalira, that she's being confused by human ideas." Velsa nodded. "He fears what she is becoming. She is more than a princess now." Logan looked confused. "What do you mean?" Velsa stood and walked toward the window. "She is awakening, Logan. She hears the echo. She may be the first of our kind in centuries to have the old power." Logan remembered the moments Kalira had spoken to him without words. He had thought it was just imagination, but now he knew better. "She's telepathic?" Velsa turned back. "More than that. She may be a seer, one who sees beyond time and truth. If Sirac learns this, he will act quickly." Logan's heart pounded. He had to protect Kalira. But he wasn't a warrior. He was just a man with tools, hands, and courage. That night, Logan checked Kalira's room. She was asleep, her small face calm. But even in sleep, she reached out with her mind. "You there, Guardian?" Her voice whispered in his thoughts. "I'm here, little one," Logan answered in his mind, surprised but comforted. Suddenly, he heard a sound outside her window. A soft click, then a faint hiss. He moved fast. A shadow was climbing the palace wall. Logan hit the alarm button beside the door and the lights turned red. Guards rushed in. The attacker jumped through the window with a curved blade, heading straight for Kalira's bed. But Logan was faster. He tackled the figure, crashing into the floor. The blade cut his arm, but he held on tight. Guards grabbed the attacker and dragged him away. Under the hood was a noble soldier, one loyal to Sirac. Kalira woke up crying, scared and shaking. Logan knelt beside her, his arm bleeding but his hand steady. "You're safe," he whispered. "I promised you, remember?" She nodded, tears falling down her cheeks. The next morning, Velsa held a private meeting. Only a few trusted advisors were there. Logan sat at her side, his arm now wrapped in healing cloth. "This was not just an attack," Velsa said. "This was a message. They want to scare us, to break our bond." Logan looked around the room. "Then let's send our own message." Velsa raised an eyebrow. "What do you suggest?" Logan stood. "Expose them. Prove to the people what Sirac and his allies are doing. But we need to do it smart. We gather proof. Catch them planning." One of the royal guards, a female named Jareen, stepped forward. "I have seen strange movements in the lower halls, secret meetings. I can help track them." Velsa nodded. "Then begin at once. And Logan?" "Yes, train. If they come again, I need you ready to fight. Not just protect Kalira, but stand with us in open court, as her guardian." Logan agreed. From that day on, he trained, every morning with Jareen. Sword, hand-to-hand, energy staff, everything. He wasn't the best fighter, but he learned fast. His hands, once used to fix machines, were now calloused from weapons. Kalira watched from the garden, cheering him on. She even began learning some moves herself, copying Logan. One evening, as the sun set behind the crystal towers, Jareen came to Logan with news. They meet again tonight, deep in the Hall of Remembrance, Logan informed Velsa, and the plan was made. Under cover of darkness, Logan, Jareen, and 2 guards crept into the old tunnels under the palace. The Hall of Remembrance was silent, filled with statues and old lights. Voices echoed through the hall. Serac and his allies stood around a glowing table. A hologram showed a plan to trap Velsa during the next council gathering. Logan recorded everything with his wrist device. Then he stepped out from the shadows. "Nice plan," he said. Serac spun around, shocked. "You?" Before the nobles could react, guards surrounded them. Velsa entered, her cloak flowing like shadow. "It's over, Serac," she said coldly. But Serac laughed. "You think this ends here? The people will never accept a seer and her human guardian." Kalira stepped forward from behind her mother. Her eyes glowed gold. "They will if I show them." She reached out with her mind. Everyone in the hall felt her voice. Not in words, but in truth. They saw her pain, her dreams, her vision of peace between humans and Venari. Even Serac fell, silent. Velsa spoke. "The child speaks truth, and the bond between her and Logan is stronger than fear. The traitors were arrested. Their plans ended. But Logan knew things were far from over. Back in the garden, Kalira sat beside him. "You saved me again," she said. "You saved yourself this time," Logan replied. She smiled. "Do you believe now that this bond cannot be broken?" Logan looked at her, then at the stars. "Yes," he said, "I believe." But he also knew this was only the beginning of a much greater storm. Peace returned to the palace, but it was a fragile peace. Serac and his allies were now in prison, but many nobles still whispered in the halls. Some feared Kalira's new powers. Others feared her bond with Logan. To them, a human sharing. Royal blood's trust was unnatural. It broke old customs, and old minds don't change easily. Logan walked through the stone halls each morning. He could feel the stares, the quiet voices that stopped when he entered a room. He was not welcome in every corner of the palace, but he didn't care. His bond with Kalira was strong. She trusted him. Velsa, too, had come to rely on his advice, his loyalty, and his bravery. That was enough for him. But a storm was coming. One morning, as Logan trained in the courtyard with Jareen, a royal messenger arrived. His face was pale. His voice shook as he read the scroll. "The High Council demands a trial of loyalty," the messenger said. Logan lowered his training sword. "Trial of what?" Velsa stepped into the courtyard, her face serious. "It is a very old law," she explained. "When the council questions someone close to the royal blood, they can demand this test. It is a public trial, a test of mind, body, and spirit." Logan frowned. "But I already proved my loyalty. I saved Kalira's life. Twice." "Yes," Velsa said softly, "but truth does not matter to those who fear change." Kalira stood behind her mother. Her eyes looked sad, but also strong. "I will speak for you," she said. "I will tell them what you mean to me." Logan smiled. "Thank you, little one. But this is something I must face myself." The next day, the palace gates opened for the High Council gathering. Nobles and leaders from all over Orula Prime arrived. Some came in floating ships. Others came in animal-drawn carriages. The court was full of colors, scents, and sounds, but all eyes turned toward Logan as he entered the central chamber. He wore simple armor, Venari steel mixed with human design, a gift from Kalira. On his chest was the symbol of House Kareth, marked in gold. The council leader, a tall woman with silver tattoos, raised her hand. "Logan Pierce, human of Earth," she said. "You are life-bound to the royal family. Do you accept this trial of loyalty?" Logan nodded. "I do." "The first part," she said, "is the test of body. You will face one of our warriors in the arena of flames." Gasps filled the room. The arena was an ancient place, used for duels and blood tests. Velsa rose from her seat. "This is not necessary. He is not a soldier." But the council leader only bowed her head. "He is a guardian. He must prove it." The arena of flames stood deep in the mountains. A ring of glowing stones marked the battle space. Heat rose from the rocks below. Logan stepped into the circle. Across from him stood a Venari warrior, tall, armored, and armed with a double-bladed staff. Logan had trained hard, but this was different. This was real. The bell rang. The duel began. The warrior came fast, swinging the staff in sharp circles. Logan dodged, barely escaping the burning edge. He blocked with his own staff and rolled to the side. The crowd watched silently. Logan knew he couldn't win with strength. He had to use his mind. He feinted a retreat, then turned quickly and used a trick Jareen had taught him, a sweep to the leg followed by a counter-strike. The warrior stumbled. Logan didn't press the attack. He stepped back, showing control. The warrior stood, nodded, and dropped his weapon. The crowd clapped. The council leader stood. "The test of body is passed." Next came the test of truth. Logan stood alone in a dark room. In front of him was a memory crystal. It would show his past, his pain, his regrets. The crystal glowed. He saw Earth. He saw his brother dying in a mining accident. He saw himself walking away from his family full of guilt. Then he saw Kalira, her smile, her voice calling him guardian. The light faded. A voice asked, "Do you carry shame?" "Yes," Logan answered. "Do you carry fear?" "Yes." "Do you still choose this bond?" "Yes, always." The room lit up. The council leader stepped forward. "You have passed the test of truth." Finally came the most sacred part, the test of spirit. This took place in the caves of Remembering, a holy place deep underground. Only those chosen by the royal line could enter. Kalira wanted to come, but Velsa gently stopped her. This he must walk alone. Inside the cave, Logan walked past glowing walls and strange symbols. The air was cold and heavy. Then he heard it, a voice in his mind. "You are not one of us," it said. "You are not Venari." Another voice answered. Kalira's voice. "He is my guardian." The walls began to shimmer. Logan saw visions. Kalira, as a grown woman leading her people with wisdom. He stood beside her, older, stronger, proud. He saw a future where humans and Venari worked together. A future worth fighting for. He placed his hand on the final stone. Light exploded around him. When he came out of the cave, the council was waiting. "He has passed all 3 tests," Velsa said. "Let none question the bond again." The council leader looked at Logan. "You are now not only life-bound, you are spirit-tested. That honor is rare even among us." The nobles bowed their heads, even the ones who had doubted him. That evening, a great feast was held in the palace garden. Lights floated in the air. Music played from strange instruments. Kalira sat beside Logan, smiling brightly. "You did it," she said. Logan chuckled. "I just didn't want to die." She laughed, then grew quiet. "Do you know why the bond is so strong?" "Tell me." "Because it was never about blood. It's about choice. You chose to save me, and you choose to stay. That's stronger than any law." Logan looked at the stars. He thought about his past, his pain, and his path here. Kalira was right. He didn't just save her life. She saved his heart. The bond between them was more than duty. It was destiny. The celebration after Logan's trial lasted for 2 days and 2 nights. Lights floated across the palace sky. Music echoed through the glowing halls. For the first time in many years, the Venari felt hope. Their young princess was strong, wise beyond her age, and beside her stood a human who had passed every sacred test. But peace was never safe for long. On the 3rd morning, Velsa Kareth called a meeting with her closest advisors, Logan, Kalira, and Jareen. Her face was calm, but her eyes held a heavy truth. "Another threat is coming," she said. "Not from inside our walls, but from beyond the stars." She touched a crystal map. A hologram appeared in the air, showing a fleet of unknown ships, approaching the Orula system. Their design was not Venari, not human, but familiar in another way. Logan frowned. "Who are they?" "A broken empire," Velsa replied. "The Tazari. Long ago, we exiled them for their crimes. Now they return, seeking revenge." Jareen stepped forward. "Their weapons are powerful, their leaders are cruel, and their numbers far greater than ours." Kalira looked at Logan. "Will they try to take the palace?" "Yes," Velsa said, "and they will destroy everything if we don't stop them." Logan stood. "Then we fight." Velsa turned to him. "You are not Venari, Logan. You owe us nothing more. You may leave." Logan shook his head. "You gave me a bond, a place, a family. I will never leave." Kalira reached out and held his hand. The palace turned into a war camp. Engineers worked day and night to repair the shield network. Soldiers trained in the fields. Logan helped lead the defense systems. He used his human knowledge to upgrade their weapons, adding rail cannons, energy nets, and drone scouts. Kalira trained too. Though still young, she had the heart of a leader. Her voice, now stronger with the echo, could calm soldiers, heal minds, and even reveal truth in lies. One night, she and Logan stood on the balcony looking at the stars. "Do you ever miss Earth?" she asked. "Sometimes," Logan said. "But this world gave me something Earth never could. Purpose." Kalira smiled. "You were meant to be here, and you were meant to lead," Logan replied. When the Tazari fleet arrived, their ships darkened the sky. Black metal, glowing red engines, and sharp spikes lined their hulls. The entire planet trembled as their landing crafts touched the ground. They began attacking outer cities, burning villages, capturing civilians. But Orula Prime was ready. Logan and the Venari generals activated the defense grid. Energy shields rose from the forests. Skyfighters took flight. Kalira sat in the command room beside her mother, her thoughts reaching soldiers across the land, guiding them, calming them, giving them strength. Then the main assault began. Tazari warships descended upon the palace. Explosions lit the sky. Fire rained from above. Logan grabbed his battle armor and joined the royal guards. In the garden, enemy troops landed. They came with blasters and beasts, mutant animals trained for war. Logan fought like never before. Every strike was for Kalira. Every block was for Velsa. Every breath was for the bond he had sworn to protect. A Tazari captain charged at the gates, shouting in their broken tongue. Logan stood in his way. "You don't belong here," the Tazari growled. "That makes 2 of us," Logan answered, and slammed his staff into the alien's chest. The fight was brutal. Many Venari were wounded, some died. But they did not retreat. Kalira sent her voice into the minds of every defender. "Stand. We are the flame. We are the sky. We will not fall." Her power gave them new life. Finally, as the enemy began to weaken, the Tazari brought out their final weapon, a massive beast machine, 10 meters tall, made of bone and metal, controlled by a Tazari warlord. It roared and charged toward the throne chamber. Logan saw it coming. He turned to Kalira. "Stay here! I'll stop it!" "No!" she cried. "You can't face it alone!" Logan smiled. "I'm never alone. I have the bond." He ran into the chamber as the monster broke through the doors. The fight was fierce. Logan was thrown across the room, his armor breaking. The beast raised a massive claw. Kalira screamed. In that moment, something happened. Kalira's eyes glowed golden. Her voice echoed through the room, not spoken, but felt. "No!" The beast froze. Its mind shook with fear. Kalira's echo hit it like thunder. The Tazari warlord behind it dropped to his knees, clutching his head. Logan, bloody and bruised, used his last bit of strength to strike the final blow. The beast collapsed. The battle was over. After the war, the Venari held a new celebration, not of tradition, but of unity. For the first time, humans and Venari stood together as allies. Logan was called the Guardian of Two Worlds. Kalira became a symbol of peace and hope. Velsa, now older and proud, stepped down as High Matron and gave her title to Kalira. The young princess was crowned before the stars. Logan stood beside her, wearing the robe of a royal protector. In her speech, Kalira spoke softly. "My guardian saved my life, but more than that, he saved our future. This bond, this unshakable bond, is proof that love, courage, and trust are stronger than fear. From this day, we walk forward together, Venari and human, hand in hand." The crowd cheered. Lights lit the sky. Later, in a quiet moment, Kalira and Logan walked through the gardens. "Will you ever go back to Earth?" she asked. Logan looked at the flowers glowing under the stars. "Maybe one day, but not yet." Kalira looked up at him. "You know, the bond we share. It was once just a law. Now, it's something more." "Yes," Logan said. "It's family." She smiled. "I'm glad you saved me." Logan knelt beside her. "I didn't save just a princess. I found a reason to stay." Together they looked up at the stars. A new legacy had begun.